everyone, this is Julie and welcome to another SOFHAB review. Today we're doing a review on the first few episodes of, well actually the first episode because there's only been one unfortunately, on the new anime Kaiju number 8, and joining me is Rascal Entertainment.
Hello!
Now this anime is based on a manga of the same name, written and illustrated by Naoya Matsumoto, and it's serialized in Shōnen Jump, and what it involves is someone who is infected or taken over by a kaiju, and he's trying to keep it hidden as he works his way through the ranks of the anti-kaiju defense force that he's wanted to be a part of for a long time, and we get to see how this works out. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on stuff and reviews for Netflix and much more.
yes, and Rascal's actually the one who discovered this manga last year.
Yes, and I only came about it when there was a video about it on YouTube, and I almost thought it was an Attack on Titan video, and it was some type of spinoff, but it was actually a whole different manga entirely, but it's definitely inspired by AOT when you read it and watch the first episode.
Yeah.
And when I read what it was about, it actually sounded like a really genius idea. A guy gets turned into a kaiju and fight other monsters. And I always thought, like, why isn't that a movie? That sounds like it could be a superhero movie or something. So it's really cool they actually finally made that concept into a reality, and now it's gotten pretty popular. It has a small fan base at the time the manga was out because there was no anime yet. But now that the first episode premiered, it's slowly growing a fan base. One's from the people who've been waiting for it to be adapted, and then newcomers who are just seeing it for the first time.
Definitely. Now, to date, it's got 12 volumes, so it's still being published.
Yeah.
And it's set in a world where kaiju regularly cause disasters. And, of course, Japan is the country with the highest rate of kaiju attacks in the world.
Right.
And the defense force are the ones who take care of eradicating them and then cleaning them up as well. So the MC of this story is Kaijū Hachigō, and he's older. He's in his 30s, and they're telling him, I think at 33, he's too old.
Yeah,
he'll be too old. In one more year, he won't be able to even enlist.
Right.
So he really wants to do it because he promised his friend when they were kids, Ashiro.
Yeah, yes, it's a pun.
That they were going to do it together, and right now she's kicking butt, and he's not. So in the first episode, it kind of presents the first volume of the manga.
That's it, yeah.
It has a different intro in the anime where you're seeing cleanup of kaiju. Is pretty disgusting.
Yeah, a little more detailed.
It doesn't happen in the manga.
Yeah, I guess they wanted to emphasize how bad this job is of being cleanup crew. But it's like, you're cleaning up after a dead monster. I think you can fill in the blanks. We don't need to see all that stuff they're cleaning. I think that was a little bit much for the anime. Even with them jokingly censoring it, it's like, okay, it's not necessary. We know what's in there.
Now, the remains of the kaiju are used to create weapons called numbers. And their name is the Dai Kaiju. They're made from. And some individuals can use them when they're deemed compatible with the weapons that have been created.
Right.
So they make the power suits as well from the kaiju remains, and these grant them increased strength, speed, and durability. Now they've got one guy in here that you mentioned, AOT, who's a captain, and yes, he looks like Levi Ackerman.
Yes,
the first thing you think as soon as you see him is Levi Ackerman.
Yes, and the whole joke is they keep doing shout-outs whenever he does the fighting, and it's shout-outs to AOT with his fighting skills, and he's the strongest one in the whole force.
And it's so funny when you see the fan art that started being made. Yes, it started with Kafka and him as a kaiju, but the second most popular fan art was of this Levi Ackerman character.
Yes.
There's no way to call him. He's Levi Ackerman.
Yep. And how the story plays out in the manga is that once Kafka turns into a kaiju, he has to learn how to use the abilities. No one can teach him. He's just figuring it out on his own. And one of the new employees actually ends up being friends with him, keeping the secret, because he ends up finding out exactly the same time as him.
His name is Shoshiro Hoshina.
Thank you,
Hoshina. Get his name right. And he's voiced by Landon McDonald, who's perfect.
Yes. Forgot about that. And the friend is voiced by Adam MacArthur.
Yes, and all I keep thinking is Yuji.
Yeah, that's all you could hear.
At first, we didn't know whom he was voicing. We just knew he was going to be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So we were listening carefully, and all of a sudden, he started speaking. I said, okay, there's Yuji. There's Adam MacArthur.
Yeah.
And we were like, ah! So, it's exciting.
Yes, that was one of the best parts. And like you said, the first episode seems to do majority of the first volume. And it actually ends with the transformation part, which I thought was a strange way to end it. I kind of thought it'd be the midway point, and then it ends with keeping the secret. But they decided, I guess, to stretch it out some more. And for the rest of the manga, is basically him keeping the secret from the rest of the force and other people. Because the minute they find out he's a kaiju, they will either want to use him as a weapon or kill him and use the bones and things for weapons. So they don't hesitate.
Right. So for those of you who haven't watched it, it's available exclusively right now on Crunchyroll to watch. Only season 1 is aired. At this point, it comes out on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So if you've seen Kaiju number 8, let us know what you think in the comments. If you haven't, it's available there to watch. If you want to catch up and read it, as I mentioned, there are 12 volumes so far. There's also a light novel series exclusive on the 3rd division. Also another manga series that recently began running in January of this year called Kaiju number 8 B-Side.
Yes.
So you can check those out and read them either prior to watching it or as you watch it. We are currently on the most current release issue, I should say, in the U.S. So we are up to date. So a lot of this we're going to know from the manga. So if you have any questions, let us know in the comments.
Right, and be sure to like, subscribe, notification bells, updates on SOFHAB reviews for Netflix, and much, much more on the channel. There's a plethora of different content.
Thank you, and be sure to visit Rascal Entertainment's channel. You don't want to miss out on anything. It is fantastic. There's just so much content and fun there. Be sure to visit. Thank you for joining us again today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on here. It's been fun again.
So, thank you for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm Julie.
And I'm Rascal. Have a fantastic day.
Continue to be happy, healthy, whole, and wonderful. See you next time.